But let's start in China, right outside that critical court with freelance reporter Patrick Fox. So, Patrick, what's your sense? How will the trial of Michael Spavor likely play out?
Yeah, well, it's hard to say. This is where the hearing is taking place, and China has given very little information on what exactly is happening today. And as we know, the announcement of the two trials taking place came at very short notice. What we do know is that courts in China have a near perfect conviction rate, and when a trial gets to this phase, the verdict is generally swift. And experts say it's almost certain that Michael Spavor will be found guilty of espionage, a crime which carries a sentence ranging from 10 years to life in prison. But that verdict and the sentence could still change, as we've seen so many times before in cases like this in China. And so this is by no means the end of the story.
So you're in Dandong in the northeast of China. Why is the trial happening there?
Well, look, for people that aren't familiar, Dandong faces North Korea, separated by waters right in front of me, in fact. And this is where Michael Spavor was working in 2018 when he was arrested for an organization which promotes investment and tourism with North Korea. And in many ways, his arrest came as a surprise because he isn't a high-profile individual, and the focus of his work was primarily on cultural exchange and friendship between people of different countries.
Okay, so this is very big news here in Canada, Patrick, but how's it playing out in China?
Well, look, it's a funny thing because I had a long drive to get here, and, you know, during that drive, I spoke to my driver who told me he didn't really know anything about the two Michaels or this case today, but he knew precisely about the case of Meng Wanzhou, which is presented by China as part of its state propaganda as a political case driven by the U.S., whereas the case of the two Michaels, according to China, are legitimate.
So interesting. All right. Thank you, Patrick. Patrick Fox, freelance reporter in Dandong, China.
Now, many see the timing of this trial as strategic, much as they view the arrests themselves. That is to say, a case of China exerting pressure on the Meng Wanzhou extradition proceeding just as it begins major diplomatic talks with the United States. David Cochran has that side of the story.
They've been in Chinese prisons for more than 800 days, and the Chinese government is telling the world it's all legal and proper.
The Chinese judiciary handles cases independently according to law.
That reassurance offers no comfort to Michael Spavor's family, who on the eve of trial issued a statement saying, "We feel it is necessary to speak out and call for his unconditional release. His continued unjust detention depriving him of his liberty is both unfair and unreasonable." That's also the position of top U.S. officials meeting with their Chinese counterparts in Alaska, where things got tense.
We'll also discuss our deep concerns with actions by China, including in Xinjiang, Hong Kong, Taiwan.
The United States itself does not represent international public opinion. And neither does the Western world.
We will always stand up for our principles, for our people, and for our friends.
Those friends include Canada, which hopes U.S. pressure can help secure the release of the Michaels. But with Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou still facing extradition and the U.S. equally dug in, this meeting is unlikely to settle things.
I don't see the U.S. backing away from seeking the extradition of the Huawei CFO, and I don't see the Chinese backing down from holding hostages. So it may come up, but I would not be overly optimistic about the outcome.
There's also little optimism about the outcome of the trial, as conviction rates in China are greater than 99%. The media and the public are banned from the courtroom, and to this point, Canadian government officials are being told they can't attend either. David Cochran, CBC News, Ottawa.